That horrible feeling, that split second you pat your pocket or glance at the table and it's gone. Your phone, your laptop. It's just pure panic, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. That little lurch in your stomach. Because these devices, they're not just gadgets, they're packed with our lives.
So losing one feels huge, but there's actually a bit of a safety net, right? Built right in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're talking about those Find My Device services. Think of them like, well, a digital lifeline back to your tech.
And today, that's what we're diving into. We're looking at the big three: Apple's Find My, Google's Find My Device, and Microsoft's version too.
Yep, Microsoft's Find My Device for Windows.
And the mission here is pretty simple, but really vital. Get you clued in on how these work before you ever need them.
Because scrambling to figure it out after your phone's gone missing, that's not ideal.
Not at all. So consider this your shortcut, your fast track to being prepared for that digital emergency. Okay, let's kick things off with Apple. Find My. What's the basic idea?
Okay, so Apple's Find My, at its core, it uses a mix of things. GPS, obviously, for location.
Like satellites, yeah.
Right. And it uses the internet connection through your iCloud account to report that location. But the really clever part is the Find My network.
Ah, I've heard about this. This is for when it's offline.
Exactly. Even if your iPhone or Mac isn't connected to Wi-Fi or cellular, it sends out these tiny, low-power Bluetooth signals.
Okay.
And other people's Apple devices nearby can anonymously pick up those signals and securely relay the location back to you through Apple's servers.
Wow. Okay. That's pretty neat. Sort of crowdsourced finding, but private.
Precisely. Privacy first is a big part of it.
So for everyone listening with an iPhone or iPad, what are the absolute must-do setup steps, like before anything goes wrong?
Okay, first thing, grab your device, go into settings,
Mm-hmm.
tap your name right at the top. That's your Apple ID section.
Got it.
Then tap Find My, and then tap Find My iPhone or iPad or Mac, depending.
Right.
And the main switch there, Find My iPhone, make absolutely sure that's toggled on. That's the baseline.
Okay. Find My iPhone. On. Simple enough. Any other toggles in there we need?
Yes, definitely two crucial ones. You'll see Find My Network. Turn that on. That's what enables that offline Bluetooth finding we just talked about.
Right. The network power.
Exactly. And also turn on Send Last Location. This one's a lifesaver if your battery is about to die.
Oh, how does that help?
Just before the battery gives out, the phone automatically sends its very last known location to Apple. So even if it dies, you have a clue where it was last.
Okay, those sound like no-brainers. Essential, really. What about general location services on the phone? Does Find My need that?
Oh, absolutely. 100%. Find My can't know where the phone is if the phone itself doesn't know.
Makes sense.
So back in Settings, go to Privacy and Security, then Location Services. That main toggle at the top needs to be on.
Okay, so Find My uses GPS, Wi-Fi, all that stuff to figure out where it is.
Yep. GPS, Wi-Fi networks, sometimes even cell towers. It uses whatever it can.
And one last bit of prep.
Just, make sure you actually know your Apple ID and password.
Yeah.
And keep them somewhere safe but accessible. You'll need them to log into iCloud if you need to track your device.
Good reminder, and a strong password, obviously.
Always.
Okay, setup done. Now, the nightmare scenario. The iPhone is gone. Poof. What's step one?
Okay, deep breath. Don't panic. Grab another device.
Uh-huh.
If you have an iPad or a Mac, just open the Find My app that's already installed.
What if you don't have another Apple device handy?
No problem. Any web browser works. Go to iCloud.com/shined. That specific URL.
iCloud.com/find. Got it.
You'll sign in with your Apple ID there. Or if you're borrowing a friend's iPhone, they can open their Find My app, and there's a Help a Friend option at the bottom. Lets you sign in securely.
Okay, so I'm logged in. What am I looking at now?
You should see a map and probably a list of your devices. Tap on the missing iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
Find My finds this way. We'll then try to locate it. If it's online connected to the internet, you should see its current location on the map. Pretty accurate, usually.
And if it's offline? Like the battery died, or no signal?
Then you'll likely see its last known location with a timestamp. Or, if it's been offline a while, maybe no location found. The Find My network can sometimes find it even after 24 hours, maybe up to 7 days, but it depends.
Okay, so I see a location, or the last known one. What can I actually do from here?
Couple of key things. If you think it might just be nearby, like down the side of the sofa.
Happens all the time.
Right. Use Play Sound. It makes the iPhone ping loudly, even if it's on silent. Really handy.
Good one. What if it's definitely not nearby or showing up somewhere weird?
Then you immediately activate Lost Mode. This is super important.
Okay, lost mode. What does that involve?
It remotely locks your iPhone with its passcode. If you didn't have one, it makes you set one.
Right?
And you can display a custom message on the lock screen, like, "This phone is lost, please call this number."
Ah, so an honest finder can reach you.
Exactly. And critically, it also suspends Apple Pay on that device, protects your cards.
That's huge. Okay, lost mode seems vital. What about the nuclear option, erasing it?
Yeah, erase iPhone. That's the last resort. If you're pretty sure you're not getting it back and you just want to protect your data above all else.
So it wipes everything. Factory reset.
Yep, wipes all your content and settings.
Yeah.
But, and this is important, once you erase it, you generally can't track it anymore using Find My,
Right, the connection's severed.
mostly. There's a small caveat for newer iPhones on iOS 15 or later. They might still be findable in some cases via the network, even after erasing. But don't bank on it. Erase means you're giving up on tracking, basically.
Okay, so Find My is powerful, but it's not magic. There are limitations.
For sure. Biggest one. Got to be enabled before you lose it. Can't turn it on remotely.
Right, proactive setup is key.
And for live tracking, it needs power and internet. Otherwise, you're looking at that last known location.
Accuracy can vary too, right? Indoors versus outdoors.
Definitely. GPS is best outdoors. Indoors or in weak signal areas, it might be less precise. And circling back to passwords, if someone gets your Apple ID password, they could potentially turn off Find My.
Yeah.
That's why that password needs to be strong and unique.
And that also links to activation lock, doesn't it?
It does. Find My enables activation lock, which makes a stolen iPhone essentially a brick to anyone else without your Apple ID. Disabling Find My bypasses that.
So protecting that Apple ID is paramount. Any final quick tips to boost the odds of getting Apple gear back?
Yeah, a few quick ones. Keep Find My on, always. Enable send last location. Use a strong passcode or Face Touch ID, prevents easy disabling. Mark it as lost immediately if you think it's gone or stolen. Locks it down, shows your message.
Report it if stolen.
Absolutely. Police report, give the serial number, IMEI if you have it. Notify your carrier. But don't be a vigilante. Let the police handle recovery if it's theft.
Good advice.
Use family sharing if you have it. Family members can help locate devices. And finally, if you get it back, yay! Remember to turn off lost mode.
Excellent. Okay, let's shift gears. What about the other side of the fence? Android users and Google's Find My device. How does that compare?
Very similar concepts, actually. Google's Find My device is tied to your Google account. Uses GPS, Wi-Fi, cellular data to locate Android phones and tablets.
Does Android have that offline finding network thing too?
It does now, yeah. For devices running Android 9 or newer, many participate in a similar crowdsourced network. So even if your lost Android phone isn't online, other nearby Androids can anonymously help pinpoint its location, assuming it has power and the features enabled.
That's great that both platforms are doing that now. Seems like a smart way to increase the chances. So setting it up on Android, is it usually on by default?
Often, yes. When you sign into your phone with your Google account, Find My device is usually activated automatically, but it's always worth checking.
How do you check?
Go into Settings. Look for a section called Security and Privacy, or maybe just Security. Somewhere in there you should find My Device. Just make sure that toggle is on.
Okay. Sometimes it might be under the Google settings too.
That's right. Sometimes it's Settings, Google Security, Find My Device. Varies a bit by manufacturer.
And location needs to be on here too, I assume.
Absolutely essential. Back in the main settings, find location, make sure that's toggled on. And it's usually best to set the mode to high accuracy if you have that option. Uses everything GPS, Wi-Fi, cellular for the best fix.
Gotcha. Any other setup bits for Android?
Maybe check that your device is listed correctly in your Google Play account settings online. Not strictly necessary for tracking, but good practice.
Yeah.
And definitely have a screen lock, PIN, pattern, password. Google says this helps the offline network function better, besides just basic security.
Screen lock helps offline finding. Interesting.
Yeah, and optionally, you could enable Google Location History. It's part of Google Maps timeline now. Could give you clues based on where the phone has been if you lose it.
Okay, Android is prepped, phone goes AWOL. How do we track it?
Two main ways. You can go to the website, dadandroid.com/find. Use any browser.
Android.com/find.
Easy enough. Or you can download the Find My Device app from the Play Store onto another Android device.
And sign in.
Sign in with the same Google account that's on the lost phone. If you're using someone else's phone with the app, there's usually a sign in as guest option.
Right. Once I'm in, what info does it show?
If the phone's online, you'll see its location on a map, usually with battery level and maybe the Wi-Fi network it's connected to.
And offline?
Similar to Apple, you'll see the last known location and a timestamp of when it was last seen online.
And the remote actions. Similar options here too.
Yep, very similar toolkit. Play sound makes it ring at full volume for 5 minutes, even on silent.
Good for finding it in the house.
Definitely. Then there's Secure Device that lets you lock the screen using your existing lock or setting a new one remotely and display a message and contact number.
Like Apple's Lost Mode.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
And the last resort, again, is Erase Device. Factory reset, wipes all your data.
And again, erasing usually stops the tracking.
Generally, yes. Though Android has Factory Reset Protection, or FRP. After an erase, someone needs your Google account password to set the phone up again, so it deters thieves somewhat, even if you can't track it.
Okay, FRP adds a layer. Any specific limitations for Google's Find My Device to keep in mind?
The usual suspects needs to be enabled beforehand, requires Google account login, needs power and connection for live tracking, though the offline network helps. Accuracy varies with Signal.
What about things like someone swapping the SIM?
That could potentially disrupt things more easily than on an iPhone with activation lock, though FRP still helps. And just managing multiple devices on one account needs a bit of attention.
Got it. Any power tips specifically for Android users?
Keep location and Find My Device on, maybe put contact info on your lock screen proactively. Location history, like we mentioned, can help retrace steps.
Oh, and the Google Assistant trick.
Right. If you use Google Assistant or have smart speakers, saying, "Hey Google, find my phone," will make it ring if it's connected nearby.
Nice little shortcut.
If it's stolen, secure device, then please report with the IMEI number. Keep checking the location periodically online. And some people look into third-party apps like Prey, but again, that's before it's lost.
Okay, covered Apple, covered Android. Let's round it out with Windows laptops and tablets. Microsoft's Find My Device. How's that work?
So this is built into Windows 10 and 11. When it's on, your laptop or tablet periodically reports its location back to your Microsoft account.
Does it have a network like Apple or Google?
No, not currently.
Yeah.
It relies purely on the device itself having an active internet connection, and it uses GPS if the device has it, which many laptops don't, or more commonly, location based on Wi-Fi networks or its IP address.
So internet connection is absolutely key here.
Totally key. No internet, no location updates.
How do you set this one up? Is it linked to your Windows login?
Yes. Crucially, you need to be signed into Windows with a Microsoft account, not a local account. And that account needs admin rights.
Okay, Microsoft account login, then what?
Go to Start, then Settings. Head into Privacy and Security. First, find location in there and make sure location services are turned on for the whole device.
Right, system-wide location on.
Then, still in Privacy and Security, or maybe Update and Security in Windows 10, look for Find My Device. Flip that switch to on.
And you do that on each Windows machine you want to track.
Yep, individually on each device,
Oh.
all linked to that same Microsoft account.
Okay, laptop is missing. Where do I go?
You need a web browser again. Go to account.microsoft.com/devices.
Account.microsoft.com/devices.
Okay. Sign in with that same Microsoft account. You'll see your list of devices. Find the missing one. Click on My Device. Find My Device next to it.
And it shows the location.
It'll show the last known location on a map with a timestamp. If it happens to be online right then, there might be a Find or Refresh button to try and get a current fix.
What about remote actions? Can I make it ring or wipe it?
No ringing, unfortunately, and no remote wipe through this interface for regular consumer accounts. The main action is lock.
Just locking it.
Yeah, you can remotely lock the PC. It signs out users and puts up the lock screen. You usually get an option to display a message on that screen too, like contact info.
So locking is the main security play here. Does tracking continue after locking?
Yes, as long as it stays online, locking it doesn't stop it reporting its location.
But no remote erase. That feels like a gap compared to phones.
It is a difference for consumers. That's why things like using a strong Windows password and especially enabling BitLocker disk encryption beforehand are so important for laptops. BitLocker scrambles the data if someone can't log in.
Right. BitLocker is the preventative data protection here. What are the other main limitations for Windows Find My Device?
Well, again, must be on before loss, needs internet. Location accuracy can be iffy without GPS, relying on Wi-Fi, no ringing, no remote wipe. And one interesting thing, when you use the website to find the PC itself usually shows a notification saying, "Find My Device was used to locate this device."
Oh, so the person using it, if someone has it, gets a heads up.
Yeah, it's a privacy feature, but something to be aware of.
Okay. Final tips for Windows users then.
Enable it, test it once to make sure it works. Keep Windows updated, connected to the internet sometimes, strong password, Definitely consider BitLocker.
Maybe a physical sticker, too?
Good idea.
Yeah.
Owner info sticker or contact info on the lock screen message. If stolen, report to police with serial number, MIC address. Maybe notify pawn shops. Again, third-party trackers like Prey exist for laptops too for more features, but need pre-installing.
And you can revoke Microsoft account access remotely if needed.
You can through the website. Won't help track it, but stops access to your account services from that device.
Okay, so bringing this all together, Apple, Android, Windows, the message seems crystal clear, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It all comes down to being proactive. Taking, what, 5 minutes, 10 minutes now to check these settings on your phone, your tablet, your laptop.
That's the single biggest thing you can do.
It really is. That small bit of time now can save you just immense stress and potentially a lot of money later on.
And if the worst does happen, device gone. What's the quick summary again?
Check the website or app for that platform immediately. Try Play Sound if it might be close by, especially for phones. Then lock the device remotely, fast.
Protect your data.
Exactly. Erasing is the very last resort, mainly for phones if you're sure it's gone for good.
And if theft is involved?
Personal safety first, always. Don't try to be a hero. Report it to the police.
Right. Stay calm, use the tools, involve authorities if needed. Hopefully you get your tech back.
Fingers crossed. And truly, we hope none of you listening ever actually need to use this stuff.
Yeah, but now you know how, just in case. You're prepared.
Equipped.
And maybe a final thought to leave you with. Beyond just finding lost gear, what other digital safety steps could you take before something goes wrong? Thinking ahead about security, passwords, backups, it can really save a world of trouble later.